Speaking of also ran presidential candidates on this date in 2016, Jeb Bush suspends his political presidential campaign. What do you do when that happens to you, buddy, and you thought you were going to win it all? And whoa, easy. And in 2021, U.S. President Joe Biden declares a major disaster in Texas as the state struggles to cope with the aftermath of a crippling winter storm. Yeah, a lot of people lost heat. I guess the windmills didn't turn out enough electricity for the entire state. If only they had some kind of way for them to get energy in Texas. Speaking of cool, when it comes to a battle of wits, you'll have the victory when you subscribe to my channel for this date in history. Like, share, subscribe, plus check out the comments below for even more February 20th history. Larry, you need to check out that channel. You just do. That's awful. It's February 19th all day, and these historical events occurred on February 19th, this date in history. In 1803, the U.S. Congress accepts Ohio's Constitution, but statehood is not ratified in Ohio until 1953. That's called procrastination, Ohio. It's a bad vice. Speaking of vice, in 1807, the U.S. Vice President Aaron Burr is arrested in Alabama for treason. Oh, and everybody in the press has been saying what's going on now is the first time it's ever happened. Not really. Try learning your history. In 1819, British explorer William Smith discovers the uninhabited South Shetland Islands near Antarctica and claims them in the name of King George III. It's like getting socks and underwear for Christmas. In 1846, the Texas state government formally installs in Austin. State, not a republic anymore, right? Or is it? Texas? What you up to? In 1852, the Phi Kappa Psi fraternity is founded at Jefferson College in Canonsburg, Pennsylvania. It's still a good candy. It doesn't need the silly toy that nobody likes. I always got the tattoos that didn't work. They just look like bruises. In 1919, the Pan-African Congress, organized by W.E.B. Du Bois, meets in Paris. In 1942, FDR orders detention and internment of all West Coast Japanese Americans. In 1968, children's educational TV program Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood debuts on NET, which is now PBS. And in 2007, blogging website Tumblr is founded by David Karp in New York. Looks like I got a winner with YouTube. Sorry, Tumblr. Just not interested. Not interested at all. Speaking of winners, when it comes to a battle of wits, you'll have the victory when you subscribe to my channel for this date in history. Like, share, subscribe, plus check out the comments below for even more February 19th history. If you do it, you'll look grown up and cool. Let's do this one together. What do you say, Tucker? Oh, it's February 18th all day, and these historical events occurred on February 18th, this date in history. In 1519, Hernan Cortez leaves Cuba for the Yucatan Peninsula in Mexico with 11 ships and 500 men. He will take over much of the empires of Mexico, totaling 20 million people with just his 500 men. Sparta's got nothing on Cortez. In 1688, Quakers consider drafting a formal protest of slavery in Germantown, Pennsylvania. Not just about oatmeal, is it? Good job, Quakers. On the other side of that coin, 1861, Confederate President Jefferson Davis is inaugurated in Montgomery, Alabama, and on Black History Month of all things. In 1930, U.S. astronomer Clyde Tombaugh discovers the planet Pluto. That's a planet. Look at it. There, I said it. In 1954, the first Church of Scientology is established in Los Angeles, California. That's L. Ron Hubbard. More of a Jesus man myself. In sad news, on Black History Month in 1965, church deacon Jimmy Lee Jackson is beaten and shot during a peaceful march in Marion, Alabama. His death 8 days later inspires the Selma to Montgomery marches, so some good did come out of that. In 1972, California Supreme Court abolishes the death penalty. And that's why Charles Manson is still alive. In 1978, the first Ironman triathlon, swimming, biking, riding, and a marathon is held in Kona, Hawaii. Just so you know, that's about a 2.5-mile swim followed by a 112-mile bike ride and then a 26-mile marathon, all in a row. And this is me doing a triathlon. That's right, I used to be in shape. Kid you not. In 1979, the miniseries Roots, The Next Generations premieres on ABC television. In 1986, an anti-smoking ad airs for the first time on TV featuring Yul Brynner, who died of smoking-induced lung cancer on the 10th of October in 1985.
Now that I'm gone, I tell you, don't smoke.
The late Yul Brynner.
In 2001, FBI agent Robert Hansen is arrested for spying for the Soviet Union. He ultimately is convicted and sentenced to life in prison, where he dies there. Treasonous. And in 2020, the Boy Scouts of America files for bankruptcy amid hundreds of child abuse lawsuits. Sad on both counts. Sad to lose the Boy Scouts. Sad that that stuff happened to them. Nobody wins. But if you'd like to win when it comes to a battle of wits, you'll have the victory when you subscribe to my channel for this date in history. Like, share, subscribe, plus check out the comments below for even more February 18th history. You did a good job, didn't you, Tucker? Did you do a good job? Yes, you did. It's February 17th all day, and these historical events occurred on February 17th, this date in history. In 1621, Miles Standish is elected as the first commander of the Plymouth Colony. In 1801, the U.S. House of Representatives breaks the Electoral College tie by electing Thomas Jefferson as president over Aaron Burr. Good. In 1815, the Treaty of Ghent, ratified by the U.S. Senate and signed by President James Madison, ended the War of 1812, over a month after it was signed in Europe. In 1864, the Confederate submarine CSS H.L. Hunley sinks Union ship USS Houstononic at Charleston, South Carolina, in the world's first successful submarine attack. The crews of both vessels, though, were killed. In 1933, the U.S. Senate accepts the Blaine Act, ending Prohibition. Cheers to that. In 1936, the world's first superhero, the Phantom, a cartoon strip by Lee Falk, makes its first appearance in comics. In 1986, Howard Stern radio show returns to New York morning radio at WXRK, K-Rock 92.3 FM, WNBC.
WNBC. WNBC. WNBC.
In 1995, a federal judge allows lawsuit claiming U.S. tobacco makers knew nicotine was addictive and manipulated its levels to keep customers hooked. In 1998, NASA's Voyager 1 spacecraft overtakes Pioneer 10 to become the farthest object from Earth in space. In 2004, The Tonight Show starring Jimmy Fallon premieres on NBC.
WNBC.
When it comes to a battle of wits, you'll have the victory when you subscribe to my channel for this date in history. Like, share, subscribe, plus check out the comments below for even more February 15th history. You better do it. It's February 16th all day, and these historical events occurred on February 16th, this date in history. In 1659, the first known check written for 400 pounds is now on display in Westminster Abbey. It's a nice check. It's a lot of money back then. In 1804, U.S. Navy Lieutenant Stephen Decatur raids the Tripoli harbor and burns Navy frigate Philadelphia after it's seized by pirates. Take that, you pirates. If we can't have our ship back, you can't own it either. Little Cortez there. Remember him? You better. In 1838, Kentucky passes a law permitting women to attend school under conditions. I would tell you what those were, but I don't think you'll like it. In 1859, the French government passes a law to set the A note above to the middle C to a frequency of 435 hertz in an attempt to standardize the pitch.
Right now, the international standard for A on the treble clef is 440 hertz, or vibrations per second. But a better and more harmonious result would come from tuning that A to 432 hertz. Our ears...
Are you tone deaf? Then why am I talking to you? In 1861, Abraham Lincoln stops his train at Westfield on his way to Washington to thank What's up? There we go. Can you hear me now? Yep. Is that it? Yeah. I think I'm in there somewhere. Good. Hey, everybody. What's happening? It's me and the dogs. Let's see how we're doing here. Is anybody in there? There's nobody there? Okay. Well, if there's nobody there, I'm just going to go back to, we'll do this again some other time. Because I can't get the filters to work right anyway. And everything's all keyed out. And it's ridiculous. Color key. Bam, 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 bam. What's up? How we doing? Nope, no viewers. Well, you're not going to view, so I'm not going to talk. Can you? Looks like the board's working. I was going to give you a nice lesson on the PBA, but you guys must be tired or something. So I will. I'll come back at another time. Hey, dogs, they don't want to talk. Let's go watch some Steve Harvey. Yep. We won't talk about this or that or this. Adios.